Hello, everyone, and welcome to Factorio Vanilla Plus Plus. This will be a game in which I attempt to make a mega factory. Mega factory is generally seen as a humongous factory that stretches far and long and goes way past the end of the game. And by the end of the game, I mean the rocket silo. So, for those who are wondering, Vanilla Plus Plus is referring to the fact that there are mods in this, but they are generally vanilla extra mods, if that makes any sense. So the exact mods that are in this quote-unquote pack, I suppose you could say, is FARL, F-A-R-L, and that stands for Fully Automated Rail Laying, I believe, and it adds into a game a diesel locomotive called a FARL that you can use to automatically place track. It will automatically clear out forests. It will automatically place big power poles, not big rails, big power poles alongside of the rails, as well as rail signals to make sure that you have adequate number of blocks in your train network. So that's the first mod, and that's purely out of convenience, of course. And as you might see, larger inventory is the next mod on my list. All that does is double the player's inventory size, and I don't need this mod for vanilla, but I've been playing modded so much recently, it's extremely hard to go without it. The next mod is More Light, and that is as much for you guys as it is for me. What that does is instead of giving your player the headlamp of light when it becomes nighttime, it gives a large radius of light, as you just saw turn on there. And that just helps everyone to see better, including myself, so that it's not so dark in the game. The next mod would be Rail Tanker, and what this mod does is it, I did not mean to put that there. Rail Tanker adds exactly that. It is a rail tanker. It basically adds a cargo wagon to your train system that can carry fluids, so crude oil. And the point of that is to bring in crude oil without having to barrel it, which is rather convenient. And the next mod, which is why you actually need that one, is RSO, which is Resource Spawn Overhaul, I believe. Now, what Resource Spawn Overhaul, or RSO, does is it makes the resources very rare. Like, very, very rare. You really have to go finding for your resources. And it has a lot of options within it that you can customize it to make it even harder. I have not done that. I have it set to the very base difficulty that it comes with, and I'm going to be testing that. I also have the FAT controller, which I don't 100% understand or know what it does, but I think it allows for controlling your trains, like setting their stations and where they need to go and all of that from a distance, so without actually having to be in proximity to your train to do it, which should make keeping up with all of these different trains a lot easier. And the last one is Tree Collision Health, and this mod, although not really required in 0.12, it reduces the collision of trees. So back in 0.11, it would basically allow you to run through a forest when you otherwise couldn't. And this includes spiders running through forests, so that is something to be noted. But this particular version of the mod has the health aspect, and that also makes sure that the trees all have 1 HP. So when you mine them, it still takes the same amount of time and it's just as difficult. But when you shoot them, they have 1 HP and die instantly. So this means when you're using your shotgun to clear out a tree or a forest. There's no trees with partial health. There's no tree health bars. They just die. Or they didn't get hit. So that just kind of keeps my, I was going to say OCD. I don't actually have OCD, but it keeps my mind at ease when I am trying to clear out a forest and it leaves behind all of those things. So that's just another convenience one. But yeah, that is the list of mods. I will have links in the description to each mod and its official page so that you guys can pick them up and play with them as your own. Yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy this series. It should be a long-lasting series, and hopefully it goes rather well. I am looking forward to it, that is for sure. Alright, so to start out, we want to get our basic miners up and going. Make sure that we have enough resources and all of that. I thought I had enough for another drill. I did not. I want to take one up to the stone mine to get that going. You have coal. Let me grab the rest. This way the stone can be going for a little while. Grab a chest and a drill to set up to gather me some stone. Set it up for a 4 drill, just in case I want to do that. And yeah, I'll just leave all that in there. Okay. Next on the list, let's see. Let's get another iron up. And then let's get the coal going. Maybe I'll do multiple irons next, I'm not sure yet. At least one more iron going on. Just like that. Half, and 3. Hopefully that'll work out. Just gathering up plates. Go ahead and get a second drill going for coal. And if you're not aware, you can feed them into each other and then just control click each of those, and that will keep you a few stacks. If you're going to only do 4 and you want to have a bigger buffer, you can do 4 of them around one chest. So in these 4 squares, and these 4, so on and so forth. And that'll allow you to have a bigger buffer before they stop working. But I generally put down 6 of them because I go way overboard in the early game. And so 6 stacks of coal when they stop is more than enough for me at any one time. Okay, so I've got iron now, and I'm going to need to start grabbing I was going to say coal because I just grabbed coal. I meant to say stone. I need to grab stone to make more ferni, as well as burners. Burner mining drills, that is. Just go ahead and make them all into furnaces. I won't need stone until I start creating tracks, which, though will be a prominent part of this world, will take a while. Alrighty. Go ahead and get a couple set up on copper. Just get that going. Won't need a whole lot of copper early game, but going ahead and getting it going for now will make it easier when I do need it. So, do. Okay, so that's some copper. Grab a couple of plates to start with. Going to want to work towards a boiler setup, which means I'm going to need a crap load of iron, which is generally why I put down 4 iron mines to start with. Go ahead and get the 4 coals going so that I can power all of these. Grab the stone, turn all those into ferni. Grab some more coal. Let's go ahead and re-coal up this stuff. Don't. Good enough. Good enough. coal. Go ahead and set up at least one more here. Making more iron so I can get my basic electricity up and going. Just looking for a spot that I would like to put them being my boilers. And I want to see if this corner down here is pretty flat, and if so, I might throw it down here. That water would be in the way. It's unfortunate, that's nice and flat. I can put some here. Yeah, that'll be a good spot. And is this a... Yes, it is. It is closed off. Good. Do a quick little scouting run, see if there's any biters nearby our base. Looks like we have a giant ocean-ish body of water over here. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully it's not too bad. With RSO that might be an issue as far as finding resources, but as far as the biters are concerned, that is a big part of our base that we don't have to worry about very much. And if you're looking at my mini-map, those green circles are part of the debug config that you can have up at any particular time. And what those mean are where the biters can extend their bases to. So those are chunks that the biters can migrate to. So move from bases they're already in and then create new bases. Which I believe to be qualified to be a new area, it has to be a certain distance, not only away from the player, which that's actually a huge batch of copper, so we'll be good on copper for quite a while. Although it is right next to the base, so we'll have to push the biter evolution by killing them. But yes, to have these evolution or migration areas, I believe they have to be within 8 chunks of a base, or the chunk a base is in, and out of the range of a player-placed object for a certain number of chunks. I believe it's a range of 2 outside of the placed object. So there's just a little bit of biter information that you may or may not have known. And actually the FPS counter in the top is from the same debug menu. It is part of one of the debug options you can turn on to have viewing at all times, or just when you tell it to. Alright, so it looks like the right side of our base is pretty okay. I still want to get a radar early on just to really get an idea, but got our decent patch of copper there, and that's the only base that I saw within imminent proximity. So we will have to decide whether or not we want to defend from it or have an offensive defense by going and taking them out early game. And by doing, or to do that, we would want to rush military 2, get some steel armor and some piercing rounds, and go murder their faces. It's really that simple. Defending would be a little different. We would have to either wall off something or pillbox next to our stuff, and I'm less inclined to do so. I may do it, but I'm not sure yet. And for my smelting array, I'll have to choose whether or not I want to go up or left. Seeing as the smelting array itself, at least to start off, isn't very tall vertically, I may put it here and just turn it sideways so that the output goes that way. But I will have to see about that. But we'll decide that later. That is to come. Okay. Adequate amount of coal in all of these guys. Let's go fuel up the copper, as I figured they would be out. And these guys have a little bit of coal. $170 copper plates to start out with is not bad. Always grab the iron when I run by. So let's make 10 steam engines, a pump, 13 boilers, and actually, let me go get some more stone so that I can make more boilers, because I'm gonna just go ahead, and since the biters are so far away, I'm not gonna worry about pollution too much, and I'm just going to start off with a double boiler system. So that's 13 more boilers. Let's get another offshore pump. Make sure to get 2 pipe to underground sections, because I always have at least a little bit of pipe to underground to leave space to run through and to run the coal through. As I'm speaking of coal, I should go ahead and pick that up so it keeps going. Guess now I'm in need of a bunch of iron. So I will just stand here and pick up the ore for now until I get that furnace made. Hopefully we will get enough iron to craft the other steam engines here soon. Let's see, how far out is that furnace I want? Yeah, it's a ways out. Here, you put it in the box. And I'm gonna go start setting up. So, over here, let's go ahead and pick up these trees. Get it as close to this as possible. So, the boiler will have to go on this line. And run the pump out. Happens to work perfectly. Awesome. Yeah, that'll be fine for now, maybe. That won't leave much space up here. Let's run it out a few more blocks. No big deal. Grab 5 pipe. 5. And then do the full reach. Get the tree out of the way. And we will have 13 boilers on each section, with 3 spaces in between. We'll also need 26 burner inserters. That is exactly the number I need, actually. So set up this one to be here. And I'll need another 5 pipes, which is okay. And we'll go get those in a minute. We'll go get some iron in a second. And then 10 boilers. And this is supposedly the efficient 1 pump setup. It's supposed to be extremely efficient for a 1 pump to all of this ratio. So grab the iron. We need 5 pipe. Grab the coal. Let's go ahead and fill these up. Cool, so those are all completely full. Go grab the copper just for the sake of grabbing it. And put poles in their designated location. So there's still a little bit of copper going. Let's see. Got plenty of space in between my pollution cloud and that biter base for now. Always want to check on that, make sure that it's not getting too far out of hand. So we will set up the rest of this in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. See you later. Bye-bye.